tell you who I was talking to, crazy Phoenix Marie, on her only. This is again
the women
OnlyFans.
crush on OnlyFans and Patreon.
And so she told me what she makes per month on OnlyFans, and like she's buying her second house in a matter of like a year. Like, I mean,
Wow.
it is. I'll tell you off the air because I'm not going to share her business publicly. It is. It blew me away, and she has a regular full-time job as a doctor's office too. And
Wow.
she told we went to lunch at Greens and Protein, and she told me. And she goes, I probably make more now than you, Ryan. And I laughed. I go, get out of here, Phoenix. So she told me, I go, yeah, you do.
It's interesting you talk about being pigeonholed because nobody looks at Joe Rogan and goes, that guy's just the comedian. That guy's just the UFC commentator. He's built this incredible brand for himself just organically and naturally.
How long did it take, though, Chris? That's the other thing. He's been chipping away at this before this was big.
Yeah, and nobody talks about Joe Rogan's episode number 343 or episode 517 because no one was listening then. Now that he's on episode 1400, obviously he has the momentum.
And that's the thing, dude. That whole patience thing comes in and being consistent. And I think that's what comes into like enjoying what you do as well and looking at it. And again, though, there's different things. Like if you just do it and it's almost like when I look at it too, you got like those guys, independent wrestlers that work a regular job. They just love wrestling and they're just, they do a weekend show and they wrestle for 20 years. Nobody knows who they are, but they're having the time of their life. And then there's like that mindset. And I've never had that mindset. And I looked at it like that with the podcasting thing is too. I go, this is something I want to do forever. I just want to keep adjusting it and evolving it.
Sure.
And I go, but there's that time I go, fuck though. I do want to be number one eventually on this.
Yeah.
Like I really, but I go, I've had a lot to learn. And I go, I don't like wasting my time. And I go, but I'm not because I enjoy the conversations. But that's where now I'm putting in supplements, have the momentum rolling. I go, okay, let's start looking at the podcast. What can we do? But Joe was consistent. I don't know how many years he did it before at some point momentum took over and his other things caught on. And again,
it was only in the last 3 or 4 years that became a major thing. Everybody knows who Joe Rogan is now. He's the number one podcaster every single week.
He landed that huge deal on Spotify, but like he can go.
That's a game changer.
Too. By the way, like I look at Joe and I'm like, I'm taking that simplistic attitude towards things. Like I would like take time and write up for the guest each week. And I look at Joe and it's just like, who's Chris Rock this week? That's and I'm like. And it's 3 hours and 30 minutes. And
the fact that he's had Elon Musk on twice, and of course, someone like Kevin Hart's on the show, but then you got Bernie Sanders coming on the show, and this is going to change interviewing, right? And it's just a matter of time before The Rock does his show, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. The Rock hasn't. That has to be a power play with those guys too, a little bit, because
The Rock brings value to a long form conversation.
Yeah. That would be great to bring. What do you think that's the number one listened to episode if he brings The Rock on and they talk about The Rock running for president?
Oh, definitely. I think that his number one episode right now is the first Elon Musk episode, the one where he smoked weed.
I listened to the entire thing, and the fact that he's so good at getting guys to come on and be comfortable.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of that is in what we don't see on camera, or we don't hear on the podcast. I think it's, you roll up to this warehouse that's basically like a playground for grown men, and you can do absolutely everything in there. Oh, you want to go do some kickboxing? I'll do that over here. You want to shoot some bows? I'll do that over here. And then I think you do all that stuff. You really bro out and have a great time. And then it's like, all right, okay, all that stuff we talked about. Let's go sit down and record it now.
You think that's the play? You think Joe just invites people over to hang out? And then it's like in the portion of this warehouse, like. He's like, hey, Ryback, come over. Let's lift some weights. Oh, fuck, I'll go lift weights with Joe Rogan. And we're pumping iron. He's like, hey, man, take a hit. You want to go fucking do a podcast? Sure, why not? He lures you in.
I don't think that's exactly the play, but I think that when you get there, you go, I feel so disarmed. I'm just hanging out with a buddy.
Yeah, no, I think, too, he's so personable and he's intelligent. And he can have a conversation with anyone. And, again, too, and now the play is he brings whoever goes on his show is a game changer.
Yeah, definitely.
If I were to be able to get on that show, Feed Me More Nutrition sales would go, even higher. There's no and it just, and how long would that last? Who knows? But I mean, it's like an entrepreneur going on Shark Tank. You get a
Oh,
boost no matter what.
yeah.
And that's,
He's like this generation's kind of like Oprah. Like when
yeah,
Oprah used to be the kingmaker, the queen maker. Now, when you go on Joe's show, it's the exact same thing. If you're a comedian, you're going to be on a tour now, or your sales are going to go through the roof. Your followers are certainly going to spike. So it's an amazing world we're living in right now, because just 5 years ago, we were obsessed with Vine videos that were 9 seconds long. Now, when you see an hour and a half long Joe Rogan episode, you're like, it's only an hour and a half. What happened here?
that's a good question. I was going to, like, the way things are changing and evolving, and I want to talk about what's going on with the virus with you too. But like, what the next 5 years, I look at that, like what I really think, and like in talking with Phoenix, I really think in online, with the way the world is evolving and changing, and like working for yourself is so big right now. Those, the people doing the best are the ones that tend to work for themselves,
Yeah,
online or in one way or another, with the way everything that's going on in the world. But trends are changing. Even podcasting, it's an oversaturated thing, and that's where the Rogan thing comes in again. I think the game's going to be the who sticks around the longest
yeah.
and
Well,
who rides it out, and but that comes down to who enjoys what they do.
well, I think the best thing about podcasting is anybody can have a podcast, and the worst thing about podcasting is anybody can have a podcast. And to quote Macho Man Randy Savage, "The cream will always rise to the top." Oh yeah, but it's true.
It is.
If you're consistent with this and you're putting out great material, it can't be ignored. And I think that the biggest thing is people they'll start a podcast, they'll put out 3 episodes, see their download numbers and go, oh, this is not worth the time, because it's such a labor of love, as you know. And then they'll give up.
Absolutely.
And most podcasters give up after like 5 episodes.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'll make them up anyway. But it's something it's something crazy like 70% of podcasts give up after 1 episode, and like 85 give up after 5 episodes.
Yeah. And talking about things. And I actually went the opposite way. I started out the first year making great money and things just kept going up and up and up. And then all the things changed with the listening, and we switched from audio boom to mid roll. And then it like got cut in half for a while. And then it slowly trickled down. And I was still trying to find what the way. And then finally, when I got into doing conversations and adjusting it, it went back up again. Mm-hmm. And it's been kind of leveled off for a while on that. But I found, like, I just look at the trends, and I've had some pretty big names, and they don't move the needle for me. And I don't know if it's because
what it comes down to is you have to do what you're passionate about. If you love it, then somebody else out there, millions of other people, are going to love the same thing too. So I think that's where everybody's podcast needs to begin. What do I love, and what do I want to talk about every single week? And then you need to be consistent, and you actually have to do it every single week, because so many people don't.
And that's the thing. You got consistency. That and patience are the two keys to success. Two of the keys to success with that. And that's what separates people, is doing it over time and riding through and understanding. I think too, it's like, and I look at it and I go back, I'll look at periods. I go, man, the show, that I don't want to say it sucked, but I look at the numbers. I go, I understand why the numbers were what they were, because where I was and what was going on. And then as you change and adjust, you see them move up. But you definitely it's an oversaturated market, and we can focus on that all day long. But again, I think you said cream always rises to the top. And something with you I've been impressed on too is your YouTube, and how you've been able to take that and put that on audio essentially and find success there as well. Have you noticed YouTube, what's going on over there? Because it has changed massively in the 10 months that I've been on there. And I signed with BBTV as well, and I'm doing some of the things that they have recommended, and it's actually going the opposite way of what we thought, gotten worse. And but I ride it out because I enjoy what I'm doing. And it's obviously tied into Feed Me More Nutrition and sales funnels. And so I'm not overly concerned, but I do look, I go, the numbers were so high in 10 months, and then they've gone down. Have you experienced that on your end, the numbers going down at all on YouTube?
I think that for me, my channel is so guest oriented, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on, number one, who my guest is, and number two, what they talk about. And, anything could really come up in the 45 minutes to an hour that we're going to talk. So I just put it out there. And if it does, great, cool. And if it doesn't do well, all right, I'll have another interview in a few days. So
Yeah.
to answer your question, sure. Yeah. There's some interviews that I thought would do better that don't do well. And then there's some uploads that just crush. Like I have an interview with The Big Show from
Yeah.
2016.
It's your best one, right?
Yes, for sure. It's my most watched wrestling interview, like bar none. It's my third most watched video this year. I was just looking at my analytics,
Wow.
and it's from 4 years ago.
Thank you guys very much for watching this clip. And to watch full episodes, subscribe to patreon.com/Ryback for exclusive videos of both shows. And always remember, feed me more.